Hey there, it's Lori from Teach Through Love, and I wanted to share a conscious communication tip with you today, one of our cards. I normally post these every Monday for our Mindful Mondays, but Facebook is telling me that they've been reported as abusive. So, sad face. I don't know why somebody would report them as abusive, but I can't post, so I thought I would make a video. They're not being banned over in our Chaos to Cooperation Facebook group, so you can still find them over there if you want to come look it up, Chaos to Cooperation, and you can join our group on Facebook. There's a link right on my Teach Through Love page, but you can also just search for Chaos to Cooperation or Teach Through Love, and it should pop up. So today's card that I was going to share is Don't Argue With Me. You guys, have you ever said this to your children? I know I've said this before. I've wanted to say this. That's why I made a card about it. So let's flip it around. Let's remove the blame, the shame, the judgment, and the guilt from Don't Argue With Me. Okay, what's the first thing we want to do? We want to avoid demands, right? The first thing we might say, don't argue with me. It doesn't give our kids a lot of feedback. And it doesn't give them any information about how to shift into a state of regulation, into a place of feeling more centered, more balanced, more resourceful, like we're able to problem solve. So arguing is their way of saying, I don't have the resources that I need right now. I don't have the ability to shift into a new place, a new situation, a new state of regulation, a new place where I can be more resourceful. So the next thing we want to avoid, blame. When we say things like, I made my decision, don't make me angry, give our kids a lot of power that isn't theirs. Nobody can make us angry, so we really want to own our feelings. This is also a little bit of blame shifting, so we're going to take ownership for those feelings. That helps kids know that their feelings are also caused by something that's going on, something that they've seen, and that they have the control. They don't have to ask for the outside world to change so that they can feel better. So it's a really great lesson on taking responsibility for our feelings when we can do that, and when we don't say things to our kids like, don't make me angry. Okay, so the next thing that we want to avoid is judgment. When we tell kids things like, you're just being difficult, it doesn't tell them, again, how to change their situation. It does tell them what we think of them, but I don't think that it gives them the right message. The message that they take away from this is, I don't like you very much. And I don't think that any parent really wants to share with their kids that they don't like them. That's never the lesson that we're trying to teach, but it is the message that kids receive when we start to judge their behavior and we tell them that we don't like things and we don't help them move through to regulate, build skills, or build connection. All right, so the next thing, and then it brings us to that punitive consequence, and the disconnection equals that misteachable moment that we want to try to avoid. So when we say things like, I don't want to talk about this anymore, if you can't stop, then go to your room. That doesn't give us a lot of leeway to build connection with our kids. It doesn't show them how to build skills or how to regulate their emotions. So what can we do? We can shift this around, right? We can. Instead of demanding that our kids just get over things and not argue, we can be curious. What we can say instead is, it sounds like you're really upset with my decision. Is that right? Check in with your kids. Find out, is this what's going on for you right now? Is this what you're trying to share with me? Maybe they have feelings that they really haven't been able to express yet, and they need you to try to validate and acknowledge those feelings that are going on for them. So acknowledge the feelings. You're feeling really upset with me right now, and you'd like me to know that. You wanted me to know that you're angry with me. Sometimes kids just want us to know that they feel angry, and they want to feel validated in their right to feel angry. Or they want to know that they have a right to not like our limits. And that's okay. We don't have to change our limits just because they don't like them. We really just have to validate that they feel something, normalize those feelings, and then help them recover. We can tell kids what you think is important to me. We can validate their need to share their ideas and their perspective, letting them know, even if you don't know what they need, just letting them know that you're here to listen and that what they have to say is important to you is sometimes enough to help shift them into that place of regulation. And it's so important to skill building. Now, after we validate their needs, we can also ask for actionable requests. Maybe you want to ask for contribution. Maybe you say, it would help me focus if you could share what you have to say in a softer tone of voice. Maybe sometimes the yelling is just too much for you. It's dysregulating, and maybe you need to walk away. But then you come back and you say, I want to hear what's going on for you. Or how can we make this work for us? Do you think that you could share what you have to say in a softer tone of voice? And then finally, empathy plus unconditional support. This is moving us away from consequences and those missed teachable moments and towards that quality feedback that we want to give our kids. So we might say, I hear how difficult this is for you, and I have some ideas that might help. Wouldn't it be great if we could just give kids help managing their strong emotions, building skills, and building that connection? And maybe we offer some ideas. Maybe we say, hey, I've got some ideas to help you get rid of that anger, or I can tell that you're feeling really upset. I have some things, I know a few ways that might help. Instead of just trying to stop the behavior or trying to shut them down, we can just say, I hear you, I'm here, I'm listening, and I want to help. All right, you guys, that was my Mindful Mondays conscious communication tip. I will try to keep posting them. Hopefully Facebook will lift their ban on the conscious communication cards. But like I said, until then, you can go on over to the Teach Through Love Facebook group, Chaos to Cooperation, and you can see more cards over there and check in and leave me a comment. I would love to hear your comments, your thoughts, your success stories. What do you say instead of don't argue with me? What has worked for you? Maybe something a little bit different that you can share. You never know, you might just share exactly what someone needed to hear. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and please remember, you guys, it's about consciousness, not perfection.